Hello, friends. Welcome to another episode of Cloud Founder Weekly. Happy Friday. We're in episode 92, and it's going to be a good one today. But first and foremost, let's do some pre-show banter. Let's get the audience warmed up. What's going on with you and in your daily lives? I guess maybe we could talk a little bit about the 3 days that we had with Fable, and it's been taken away from our lives forever. Hopefully it comes back soon, but that's probably one of the more recent news events too. But what's going on? What's going on, Keith? Darin? Anything fun?
Upgrades. So there was a new patch. Tanzu Platform had a patch release yesterday. So lab is upgrading away into that at the moment. And also one of my demo environments runs VCF 9.0. So I am putting the wheels in motion to see what do I need to do to bring that up to 9.1. Footprint's a bit bigger, but I'm going to see, can I squeeze it in there? More memory. And some more memories on the way, thanks to Nick, of course.
Yeah, it's like if only I knew a guy.
Memories in short supply these days.
Oh yeah, it's a
not
Nick's lab. Yeah, well,
yeah, Nick's lab.
Everybody needs some DDR4 2400 32 gig DIMMs. I got a lot of those, so let me know.
Yeah, going to latest and greatest, checking it out, bringing demos up to the latest, and because we'll be doing another session. We're doing lots of integrations, VCF, so getting them all in place, and so we can really show the power of it.
Very cool. Okay, Darin, I have a big question for you. Did that fiber line get buried yet, or is it still in the tree?
Fiber is buried. I think we talked a little bit about it last time. Fiber is actually buried now. The line that actually comes from my house to the node is still sticking out above the ground. I'm hoping that they'll come back and bury that at some point. And the temporary line that was run through the trees, that is still hanging from the trees. So I have a feeling I'm going to probably have to just call my ISP and be like, hey, so are you guys going to come back out and finish the project, or are we just going to leave all of this temporary stuff just hanging out here? But I know they're going to have to come back with one of the bucket trucks, and I'm sure that costs them money. And so, yeah, they're probably like, we'll just let it sit for a few more months.
Stick it up on eeBay.
Yeah.
Well,
tell them you're sticking it up on eBay. That'll be out quick. Yeah.
If it was copper cable, it would probably already be up there.
Yeah, that is true. But no. I mean, but the fiber's been running great. No issues whatsoever.
Very good. Very good.
It's fast.
Yeah, it's amazing what the speed of light can do. But I guess we'll go ahead with our guest here, William. Welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, you're a new time caller, hopefully a long time listener. But do you have any pre-show banter? Anything going on in your not work life that is worth sharing or not type of thing?
I don't know. Like, it's Friday, which is really good.
Yes.
So that feels that feels really nice. I don't know. I have a 2-year-old son at home, so my outside of work life banter is talking to him. It's a little unintelligible, frankly. It's a lot of ramblings and single word sentences. So but it's fun. It's fun. It keeps me busy.
Yeah,
he doesn't know how to use CF yet.
Keep you busy.
He's still working on that.
Well, I mean, he can learn. He can get a button and he'll wire it up. We can get him there, right? So soon enough. But I guess too, with that, as you're our first time guest or a first time caller here, I'll do my best to remember our question we ask everyone as they come on the show for the first time. Do you remember your first Cloud Foundry experience, your first CF push, or where can you remember that and where you were, what it felt like, that type of thing?
Ooh, it's very nostalgic.
Yeah.
You want all the tactile sensations. Well, I was at a computer. I was in an office, believe it or not, and it wasn't the most romantic setting. It was just another work day. And probably in the morning, and I was using the Tanzu Academy. Have you guys heard of the Tanzu Academy?
Yeah. Very cool.
And so a little bit of a rote path to learn to try CF. It was very guided and prescriptive, and it was some sample application. It was a Java app, I remember. And so I didn't write the code. I just, some hello world thing. and I checked out a Git repo and I cd'd into a directory and cf push, and all of a sudden a whole bunch of log lines started scrolling on my terminal, and it was kind of magical. So I was impressed. I think the feeling was a little bit of appreciation for the simplicity of that experience.
So you didn't have to
cool.
like write YAML or do a whole bunch of extra steps or anything like that. It was a very just seamless, pleasant experience.
Yeah, it was a little bit. It was maybe surreal as the experience because it seemed too good to be true. Because there was no, there was no YAML and there was no, you know, 10 decisions about infrastructure implementation choices or IP addresses or runtime configuration. And how does it know everything just by, like, I never told it was Java. That was something that stood out to me, and I didn't know what a build pack was yet. So then I kind of learned about that. I'm like, it just detects what language it is, and it detects all the dependencies needed. How is that possible? Like, all these years of Docker files for what was that for?
Is that
Maybe
your background, William? Previously, the Kubernetes, or what ecosystems were you in?
Yeah, maybe there's some anger, by the way. Yeah, there was some anger and bitterness about all the years of Docker files, actually. That comes to mind now. Why didn't someone tell me about this? So yeah, I came from Docker focus use cases. One of my first projects as a site reliability engineer was to pilot converting kind of VM-based deployment methods. There's like data center in the cloud in AWS. So everything's in AMI. You bake AMIs, you put in all of your source code into an AMI, and then you push out AMIs and you do like rolling EC2 restarts with the new AMI, and that's how you manage a fleet. And this is for an e-commerce website. And so we wanted to pilot using Docker containers about 2015. And so that was kind of like, I was one of the early adopters of that in the organization, and trying to pioneer, like, is this a possible replacement to our entire way of packaging code and deploying, and then what is the implications for production? Namely, we don't need long running VMs anymore, and pet servers, and we also had an implication of not needing Chef as much because we didn't have as much dynamic configuration at the runtime. So that was definitely also kind of a, I guess, a love at first sight experience with Docker, just seeing how it could encapsulate everything. And then, I mean, those were early days. It was like ECS was our container orchestrator. Kubernetes wasn't even around yet, so we were doing all sorts of crazy hacks to handle, like, injecting environment variables and setting configurations across distributed Docker nodes, and because there was no kind of state machine or scheduler or controller yet. Very, very simple. So, but then, fast forward to seeing what a build pack could do, I was like, this is like Docker, but even smarter. So
that's a good way to put it. I mean, we got a lot of good one-liners out of that. So I'm glad we asked the question. Very good.
Did I banter enough? Okay.
No, it was perfect. Yeah.
Okay.
Very good. All right. So I guess we're here to talk about continuing our Tanzu Platform 10.4 coverage, as there's many things to cover. So we decided to do a dedicated session just on your kind of area of expertise here, William. And I know we have this new offering called Secure Container Images within Tanzu Platform 10.4. I know there's some ties into Bitnami. You've been a lot involved with Bitnami as well. So maybe you can kind of start us out, like, what does this all mean, and what's it look like in 10.4, and how can we start poking around there and getting more exposure to it?
Yeah. Well, that's a big question. I love how this is very ad hoc, by the way, and authentic, and this isn't like prepared remarks.
Oh, this is totally off the cuff, unscripted. So
yeah,
go for it.
Yeah, it's a hot seat for me, but this is good because I know how this is very authentic that way. So yeah, basically what we've been trying to think about is the open source ecosystem. What's the role of that for a Cloud Foundry user? When Cloud Foundry nails the 12-factor app and nails all of the developer experience and getting that app to production. And so, what is a developer, what other things does a developer need to make that experience even better? And beyond your custom app, getting that custom app to production, you sometimes need open source dependencies. You sometimes need third-party resources that you want to build around. So something like Apache Kafka or an Airflow, or maybe a open source queuing service, or some maybe middleware or something you want to run that your custom app talks to. And users have been doing this in various ways. Developers have been doing this in various ways on CF for years. But what we wanted to do is figure out how can we make that easier to access the open source ecosystem and get that job done and provide more kind of just not point and click, just easy to use, like no-brainer choices, and provide some security benefits out of the box. So if you're going to use an open source tool as a developer, you don't want to have to worry about the security of that third-party open source. How was it packaged? Was it packaged with security best practices in mind? Is it hardened? Did someone put a lot of bloat in there where there's a bunch of CVEs I'm going to have to remediate? Is the operating system built with container runtime in mind? All those type of considerations. So we have this technology in Tanzu called Bitnami, which has got a really long history in making open source both enterprise ready and secure. It's been around for 18, almost 19 years now doing this. So it's one of the pioneers in the Apache and CNCF and open source community experience. And so we were basically, what we've been trying to do is build some of that functionality into the platform so you can access a rich set of turnkey open source containers that are ready to use, that are secure, and that also integrate into the platform so that the platform can help you track and monitor when vulnerabilities might be discovered in those containers, especially the ones you've already deployed, and help you identify when you've got something running in your platform that you need to go remediate. And not only that, we'll actually give you the patch, we'll give you the new build, we'll give you the command to help update and remediate it to make it really easy. So just doing more of the heavy lifting of the stuff that the developer doesn't care about ultimately, or hopefully. It's just a dependency of their actual job to write really good code. We're just trying to get more of the heavy lifting there and the hard stuff out of the way to make their job easier.
So William, you said 18 years, and I've been using Bitnami a long time, like the open source. So what's the secret sauce, or what's the special sauce I get with Tanzu Platform? Like, what's that delta I'm going to get with Tanzu Platform?
Yeah, I think it's the experience with working with the upstream for one. So there's a deep knowledge of how the upstream projects work, how to work with maintainers, how to track updates and dependencies. We have an automated infrastructure that basically tracks every single upstream code repository that we depend on to instantly know when there's a new release. So we can trigger builds within hours. Each system has different release patterns, different ways of publishing. They don't all use GitHub. They don't all publish the same way. Sometimes some open source just dumps their software onto a tarball on a website somewhere. So you have to have some kind of network knowledge graph of what the open source supply chain looks like. Then the other thing is just security best practices, how to harden a container image, principle of least privilege. One of the things we do is we build everything from scratch that's required to run, let's say, an Nginx or to run an Apache Airflow. And we have built patterns for where we can, build only what's necessary on that container and understand all the dependencies without breaking the app. So taking away all the bloat without actually breaking something that the application needs. And then finally, it's the Helm charts. I don't think a lot of people realize this, but Bitnami is one of the only vendors that is maintaining Helm charts in the industry. There's a lot of vendors who are using either open source Helm charts someone else wrote, or they're copying Helm charts someone else wrote, or they're forking them. But we're actually an author of over 140 first-party Helm charts that we have built with consistency and security best practices in mind. So for one, if you're going from an Apache, Airflow Helm chart to an Apache Kafka Helm chart, or to a Neo4j Helm chart, or OpenSearch Helm chart, you're going to see consistent sets of parameters that you can control things like logging and monitoring and security settings, which is really helpful for an enterprise who's got to keep track of a lot of balls in the air. You don't want surprises every time you go somewhere. So we can provide that. Plus we have we've just built a lot of expertise around, what's a runtime setting that's insecure? what's a privilege that you provide, what's like a pod level security privilege that's not safe, that you shouldn't delegate in the Helm chart, or what's a way to store configuration values that have passwords in them that's secure. Things like that we've built up in our repertoire, and we have patterns that are reusable.
Excellent. And I suppose the big question is this an add-on? Is it included? Is it, you have to pay extra for this, or is it included already in Tanzu Platform?
Oh yeah, no, it's all included. That's the beauty of it. It's built into the platform. It's part of customers who have the platform today already get access to it, and it integrates with existing tools in the platform. And we'll show you maybe in a little bit more what that looks like.
What I think too, and we kind of covered some of the spring stuff earlier in past episodes, and the whole. I talked about the Fable being alive for about 3 days before it got banned by the U.S. government, effectively, where we have these frontier level AI assisted CVEs coming out across the board. So I can imagine that this type of service might be getting really interesting here for you lately, in terms of supply chain security and all of these different projects that potentially could come under attack or become impacted. I would imagine your life has been really busy the past, what's it been, like 6 weeks? I don't know. I feel like it's been like 10 years, but it's been like a month and a half or something that this has been out. So can you elaborate on what you've seen so far in the landscape?
Yeah, it's definitely felt like a long time. There's been a lot of weekend work. Let's put it that way. A lot of weeks have blurred together because of all this, which is exciting, but it's also a little bit, yeah, it's a big responsibility to try to figure some of these things out and act quickly, because we as an industry need to change and respond to this moment, and it's exciting. I think some of the things that are really cool about this is open source has an opportunity to really lead in security best practices, and we're seeing a lot of the community come together for this in new ways, and other vendors coming together. And I think it's going to be kind of a next phase of maturity with open source, where we're going to make it not only more reliable but more valuable to the enterprise. So it's been a lot of work, but it also highlights a lot of the things we've been doing in the past are now more valuable, now more meaningful. So the sweat equity we've put into this technology over the years is now going to hopefully help more people, because, for instance, like the trivia attack that recently happened, that was very notable for a lot of our users and our customers, because an attacker basically broke into the build infrastructure, not the source code, but the build infrastructure, and it of a really widely used software application in open source, and then they were able to infect a lot of environments, and we were able to protect our customers from that, because we're taking everything from source and we're building it from scratch in a SALSA 3 hermetically sealed clean room environment, which is just naturally defended against those type of attacks, because an attacker is going after the public build infrastructure, the highly visible infrastructure. They don't know where all the private build factories are. Ours are offline. They're not, publicly on the internet. They're all firewalled. So it just adds an extra level of automatic immunity from these threats, and so that's really, I shouldn't say cool, because that's an unfortunate event. So it's not a positive, but the positive is just knowing that what we're doing made a difference to protect our users, and all that sweat equity is worth something.
And on that,
I don't.
trivia
go ahead,
one.
Keith.
Sorry, Darin, just because naturally there's many people who do similar in the industry. Like, what's our bleed? What's our edge on others in this industry? Tanzu Platform in delivering these secure images.
Yeah,
or even our time to remediate, or something comes out, we have something in X amount of time, and for our users, what's our edge?
Yeah, that's an interesting question. Just my opinion. I'll just as an observer, like, I've seen a lot of vendors, a lot of organizations, a lot of people rushing to try to offer solutions, and that's really good. Some of those solutions I've seen though have been kind of like, hey, here's a built and patched version of an open source software, and here it is really fast, and it's built really fast, and so it's remediated now. So we've solved the problem for you because we delivered a patch version to you really fast, and you can use that, and now you're good, right? But the problem with that is that assumes that the user can quickly get that patch out to their infrastructure and to all the locations that that software is running. And I think the reality for a lot of customers that are large or sophisticated is finding all the places you're running a particular software in a large organization, especially if you have multiple actors and developers that are pushing that software or deciding when to use it, is not easy. And so you can't claim success if you've delivered a patch to someone in, it's kind of like a laboratory environment. It's a false test. It's that patch delivered at the front door of an organization doesn't do any good until it's disseminated to all the locations in the organization that are currently running the unpatched version. And so I don't know, I just as an observation for me, that's, we need to be talking more about holistic solutions that help solve the last mile delivery, because the clock doesn't stop until the patch is running and replaced all the unpatched versions. That's when the day zero clock stops. So that's just my opinion, of course, but I think about how to help customers solve that problem more, and I think there are a lot of solutions out there that are doing that, but not all of them.
Yeah, no, sorry, and Darin. I think no, it's okay, buddy. You took actually the question right out of my mouth, and I think that is exactly the challenge I think that so many organizations face today is how do we do this at scale? And when we're building a lot of this ourselves, we're utilizing open platform tooling, open source tooling to do this. That means that there's more on the hook for us, to try to figure out, okay, how do I make sure that these patches are getting out there? How do I ensure that, even my observability platforms are giving me the understanding for where is that particular image utilized, today? How many different instances of it exist? What dependencies are there? What's going to potentially break? All of these things are things that we need to know, but then we still have to carry the responsibility of going through and patching them directly. And that's something, I think that is really cool about some of these new capabilities within Tanzu Platform 10.4 is it's built to address exactly that story, that exact use case. And I think it's really timely because, obviously some of these things we were excited about bringing, some of this integration to Tanzu Platform to begin with. And then obviously everything happens with these frontier models. And, you've got AI assisted, vulnerabilities now that are front and center, in every organization's mind. And they're thinking, how do we patch this stuff as quickly as possible? And we're sitting over here going, we've got the answer. We've got the answer. And so it is really exciting. And I think these are exciting times because we actually have a perfect solution to help organizations address exactly, this problem in this use case.
Yeah, it is really exciting. It's been it makes what we do coming to work every day more interesting. Not just because we can banter like this on CF Weekly, even.
Yeah.
Like naturally, as Nick is saying there, like this is CF Weekly, this is on CF, but does it also work with the recent connector, the consumption operator, the connector to, like, say, Kubernetes, like vSphere Kubernetes service?
Oh, yeah,
an integration there as well.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, we think a lot about CF here, obviously, but yeah, connected cluster is a new feature in Tanzu Platform that works with Kubernetes clusters, and that's a great way to use these same containers as well. We actually have a Helm chart that goes along with the container in many cases, and so in that use case, we can use the Helm chart, and you get the same benefits as well that we're talking about, where we're tracking the deployments, keeping track of which versions are then running, and when there's a version that could be patched or is exposed to a vulnerability. And so it doesn't stop at one specific infrastructure type.
Yeah, I could find that very valuable because I remember, back in the day, I used to run a lot of Kubernetes stuff too. And I'd always do like a lot of Helm chart deploys. I'm like, I've got no idea what this thing's doing. And I can only imagine now trying to do that now, pulling something randomly from the internet, be like, I have no idea what this thing's doing, and I pretty much have no idea, if this thing's secure or not. But it would be nice I think it would be a really ease of mind to say, hey, I know this is from our trusted source. These guys know what they're doing, and they're making sure that I'm not, pulling in some vulnerable packages or images. So I think it's pretty nice to have that available to us. And on the side, I've been setting up a demo here. But if we want to start talking through screens, I think maybe Darin, you had a couple things you want to show. My demo is almost done. I pushed the one app, but I'm trying to rebind the volume service. So maybe we can show both views.
Yeah. I mean, and for the environment that I have, so this is one of our engineering environments that is running Tanzu Platform. And so we're going to just kind of browse around in Hub, and maybe William, you can kind of help walk us through some of this too as we go through it. But Nick, if you want to throw my demo window on stage.
It looks like I lost it. I don't see it anymore.
Oh yeah,
I see your secondary computer join.
Nope. Hold on. I'll fix that.
We can re-swizzle if we need to. I can show what I'm doing here, but
all right, now you should see it.
Survey says add to stage.
Hey, all right. Whoa. So we are in Tanzu Hub, and I think the first thing is obviously how do we get access to these images, right? So we're going to jump over here to the marketplace, and we can see first and foremost we have our service offerings, which anybody that's a Tanzu Platform customer, you're going to be familiar. That's going to be the location that has all of your tiles that are available for deployment inside of Tanzu Platform. But we have this new option here called image offerings. And if we take a look here, well, look at that. We've got all sorts of Bitnami images right from the Bitnami catalog, right, William? Right here in Tanzu Platform.
Yeah, and this is the secure version of the Bitnami catalog. Maybe worth noting, there's a version of Bitnami that's been on the interwebs for many years, and like Docker Hub. That's kind of our light version of Bitnami. That doesn't have all the hardening and all of the special versions of like FIPS cryptography, for instance, and basically really beneficial security things. These images are all this is the pro version. These are all the secure hardened images.
And
yeah, so it looks like
confirm,
go ahead, Keith.
Yeah, so like this is not pulling live from Broadcom. Like, can you mirror Broadcom into your own Artifactory or OCI registry of choice? And is that what's happening? You can do a mirror, or how's the plumbing done?
Yeah, there's two ways like to get started. We have an OCI registry that will provide, Broadcom will provide that. Great way to just get started and try out the feature. But probably the best practice way is to mirror it, and that's fully supported. There's a setting in Tanzu Hub where you just tell us where the mirror is so that we can generate the commands conveniently to have the right URL. And yeah, you just set up a mirror like Artifactory or Harbor, Nexus, those type of tools, and then we'll do a pull from our OCI source.
Perfect. Yeah. Because most people are internet restricted anyway. So yeah.
You're gonna want a Docker or image repository, so to speak. But yeah, very cool. So I think this is pretty. I mean, as a past platform admin, operator, whatever we're gonna engineer, whatever you want to call it these days, I'd always have little things like this on the side just for my own edification of like, hey, I need to run. I'd always wind up basically running like a side Docker host type of thing to run a couple of containers that when they couldn't just fit into CF. And I use a lot of Bitnami stuff. So it's really great to see this where as a CF operator, platform engineer, and also developer, we can get access to these images and know they're blessed in the secure way, now that we all should be very careful about what we download on the internet these days, and have that run in the platform. And two, like, if you look into some of these things, like we're talking about Solar, like we're talking about then introducing one of my other favorite features here, the block storage support. that kind of really these two combinations make things very interesting of like new types of apps to deploy that we couldn't just deploy before because one, they were containerized in a way that wasn't quite 12 factor and they needed some persistent storage. So now we kind of have, and we can get them from a clean, secure source. All three, so to speak. It's pretty cool to see that happening. So, I'm excited about it. I think a lot of people will be excited about it once they, get in there and see what they can get and just get going there. But
This is just
yeah, go ahead.
I was just going to say this is just the beginning too. We have 25 applications here. We're going to continue to invest and add more. There's a huge catalog we have available in Bitnami we can continue to add from. So this will get better as well.
Very cool.
And can you, like how we can curate very powerful features, creating services? Can we curate the image offerings as well for different, say, groups, orgs?
So maybe showing only certain images from this catalog to certain users. Yeah, that's on our roadmap. It's that will come soon, and you can also publish these as services too. So you brought up an interesting point about the service flow. These are building blocks for a developer to deploy an application. It's really a CF push experience, so it's an app. But you can also publish these as a service using the app as a service publishing flow if you want to do some sophisticated things like binding or providing this to other users in your organization. So there's multiple ways you can consume.
Very cool. All right, and let me pull my screen up too because we can kind of show the two things that we're working on here. Let me fix my windows. We're not getting Inception, but I gotta remove you, Darin. I don't know. Add me.
Yep, you're fine.
Click the buttons. We'll zoom in, enhance, right? So we were just looking at that solar screen or that solar offering. I did get this pushed.
Sorry, Nick, I might have to bump the zoom another little bit.
Are we tiny? How's this look?
Thanks.
Okay. Yeah, so we go into apps. We have the solar app running. Let's see, services. Is it restarting here? So I kind of was running this on the side here. Yeah, we had the block storage volume here going on. Let me refresh this. I think it might have lost what's going on. But I was able to get to a prompt and everything here. We'll just go to the route. Yeah, so you can see we have the solar dashboard login.
Yeah, it's running.
Somewhere.
That was fast, Nick. Wow.
Yeah. Let's see. All right, it logged in. Whoa. No, I don't say this. Yeah, I don't want to say that. But yeah, you can see now solar's running on CF. It should have a volume attached as well. But it looks like maybe the volume detached. But I need to look at that. But we got it running. We got and solar is refresh my. It's more of like is it a database or a cache? I see Lucene in there. It reminds me of something with Cassandra. It's been a while since I worked with solar, but
search engine.
Yeah. So it's solar and probably Cassandra timeframe too. I feel like this Lucene search and so this is a search engine you can run. It probably at scale can get pretty big, but yeah, you would see a search engine, something like this would want some persistent volume and want to get that clearly loaded here. But yeah, I mean, I've never actually been into this dashboard, so I don't really know where to click on here. But yeah, I can do a schema or core admin, security, logging. I don't know. It looks like it's all working, so success. But yeah, now I needed to figure out actually how to use solar and what I could do. But in a past life, I've supported teams that ran solar clusters and things like that. So I've seen it before, but it was always off platform because it didn't quite fit and that type of thing. So seeing that now, pretty cool to see. And I was able to just I can kind of share what I was able to do to push it here. Let me pull up a manifest. Open. No, VS Code. That's what I want.
Fun fact: we had a Solar instance at a company I was at 10 years ago. It was an internal search engine for all the wikis and knowledge bases, and someone in engineering ran it, and turned into this big project. It was indexing like thousands of documents. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, let me. I think I can pull this screen over here.
It's the same technology that's in Elasticsearch. So like the Kibana Elk stack. Lucene is the underlying Java engine for indexing documents that Elasticsearch uses.
Where's my VS Code? I got Windows over Windows. All right, well, we'll just use this one. Need to break out of this full screen. And yeah. So yeah, we got a pretty simple going on here. I'll make this Command ++. But yeah, so simple scenario here. And name Solar, disk quota, the image. So I'm pulling directly from the Broadcom OCI registry here.
Oh, Nick, come on, man.
What? I didn't sync this to my Harbor yet. Okay.
It's not a best practice, you know? I mean,
I know. I'm sorry. Like if I lose the internet, I can't look. I can't. Yeah. So, shame on me. And yeah, I got a really basic username password here. But yes, that should show. Like, hey, I pushed this as a Docker image from my secure friends at Broadcom, and I didn't have to worry about what's going on in here. It runs Solar, and I've connected to it. So here we go. Ready to roll. Quick little demo of how you can extend some things on Tanzu Platform.
How long did that take you? I'm just curious.
Well, I started it while we started talking. So,
really,
and I may or may not have had some help from my friend Claudius Maximus, but I basically just gave it a doc and said, "Hey, here, make this happen," and it's going. So, if you want to, we have a doc on this. This is I believe the sample guide that we used. But yeah, how to deploy as a single container. I'm talking about the block storage and this Solar. So here your manifest. So it's a pretty simple. Like here's how you can just see a push Solar and throw it up on and give it some persistent storage as that service, and yeah, you're ready to go. And credentials and how to do that. And obviously, if you're doing this in your own four walls, you're probably going to have a container registry that you sync, like an Artifactory or whatever, a Harbor or whatever. So hey, all that jazz.
So William, rather than us from years just doing the Docker pull, now that we've done the CF push version of it, what benefits, let's say, our platform engineering team getting from this? Like what insights are they now getting that we're coming out of we're using Hub as a central control plane? What kind of insights can they get now?
Yeah. Well, largely a lot of the things they get from any app they deploy on CF, for one, because it is a CF app, so it gets all those benefits. One unique benefit, though, too, is because we're the producer of the container image, we have programmed vulnerability insights to have a real-time database of the CVEs. So we can tell you when you're running that Solar, if in the future a CVE is discovered, we'll help you triage. How severe is that CVE? What is its exploitability score? Is there any vex statements from the upstream that we can provide you to help you interpret if it's something you need to take action on? And then if you do want to take action, we'll give you the new version that you can deploy to. Well, of course, we're providing the new patch version conveniently right in the platform, and then we'll give you the sample commands you can use to upgrade. So it's again talking about that sort of, the whole journey of all the way to the remediation. We're helping you with that last mile as well.
Yeah, and if you like, that's actually something I can show because we've got that ready to go from a demo environment perspective.
Oh yeah, are you clear to be back on stage?
I'm clear to be back on stage. We're good.
We'll bring you back. Bringing back Darin here.
Yeah,
Darin Cam.
So if we look at the Apache Solar image offering, there's a number of different things that we can see right here in the Hub UI. So first and foremost, we see a little bit from a summary perspective about what Apache Solar is, and we can see the available upstream releases. as well as the Kubernetes Helm charts that are available for it. And then we can actually see, so if we're leveraging connected clusters, we can actually see the Kubernetes instances of that Helm chart that's been deployed. And then at the very bottom, we can also see our Elastic App Runtime droplets and applications that have been deployed. And so to show quickly what William was just talking about, I'm just going to click on this Elastic App Runtime instance of this application that's been deployed. And here we can actually see right in the dashboard for this app, the vulnerability remediation. We can actually see that there are some critical and high CVEs that have been detected for this app. And then just as William just highlighted, we can see that, if we run this upgrade, it will actually fix 6% of those CVEs, and it's going to give us the command to do so. And so then we can take this back and actually push an update to this right from Tanzu Platform. Anything I missed there, William? Anything you want to hit?
No, I think that's the key thing. It's what I find is customers that are large and have a lot of developers, they're giving these developers all these cool open source bits, or their developers sometimes are just doing this on their own. It's hard to keep track of who deployed what, and the developer's not always responsible for managing and monitoring the CVEs. They have enough things on their plate, frankly. So sometimes it's a separate person who's trying to go and kind of keep track, like, okay, do we have any exposures? Are we running any copies of things that are exposed to a CVE? That's a really hard thing to do if you don't know, if you weren't the one who pushed the button initially. And so having kind of a means of indirection, a system that can provide that without having to have a meeting for every developer, can you imagine?
Yeah.
I think what I find from the larger organizations is this is a lifesaver. Now, if you're a small startup, you're kind of like, okay, whatever. I know what I deployed. I can keep track of that. There's 5 of us. Yeah, I get that's not the top of mind thing. So this is kind of an insidious problem that creeps up on people or organizations as they get larger, and then it becomes kind of the biggest issue. So I think this can't be understated how important this can be.
Yeah, and we talked a little bit about this as well, but I mean, this is obviously just this one particular image, this one particular app. But one of the beauties of Tanzu Platform and Tanzu Hub is the fact that we can actually go in and see, when we look at our active workloads that are out in the environment today, we can see all of the Kubernetes instances of different images that have been deployed. So not just Solar, but certainly Zookeeper and Keycloak and other things that are out here. But then also the Elastic App Runtime droplets and applications that have been deployed from that image marketplace as well. And so, again, the beauty of Tanzu Platform is the fact that when we look across the entire fleet of foundations across the environment, as well as now, VKS instances and clusters that are running, and we have the ability to now detect what's happening there. The beauty of this is the fact that, like, as a platform engineer, I do have one place that I can go and look at the status of all of these applications. So even in this particular case, I can see what the current version is, but I can also see what's the latest version that's available for that image that's out there. And from this particular view right now, obviously we're not necessarily looking at this from the standpoint of the vulnerability status, but even just, hey, are there updates available to the image that I can see this very quickly and very easily at a glance. And so a lot of benefits that this brings.
Darin, you had a screen there, and it made me go back 1 or 2 screens. It was more of like the high-level dashboard view. It just reminded me of a thing from the olden days of Bitnami. There, Photon. So, William, is it distroless? Can you choose your base image, like Photon, Debian? Like, what options are there?
Great question. So I mentioned earlier on, there's like the free version or the light version of Bitnami that you might know from Docker Hub. This is the pro version. This is the hardened version that we use Photon for. Photon is our own in-house operating system that we develop at Broadcom with its purpose built for just containers. It's not a general purpose OS like Debian. Debian was built in the 80s for, big Unix workstations that has mail clients and, user utilities and all these things you don't need in a container, right? This OS is built just to run on a minimal container, and then it also has all of these principles of least privilege, FIPS encryption, STIG hardening, all the state-of-the-art security stuff that's valuable. So that's why we use the Photon version. It's when you say distroless, it's the technical definition of distroless is actually probably one step beyond what these images are. We actually have a distroless flavor, which is even another step. I could talk about that at length too. So just in short, that option is there, but these aren't all necessarily distroless, but they are hardened. A lot of them have near zero CVEs. And right now we don't have a way to choose the OS. Our approach right now is to provide just the maximum security. If customers want to use the different versions, we think there's probably a trade-off of security that they won't want, but we're always open to feedback and consideration if they want something different. So, but that's a key point, is this Photon image is providing a lot of special benefits.
We mentioned Keycloak there, and that's a side project I've been building to bring in SSO into Kuhn Lab. So I've got a new task to. I didn't realize we offered a secure version of Keycloak, so I'm gonna start using that right away because I don't know what I've been using before. So whoever said Keycloak there, I appreciate it, and I immediately on the side started looking it up on the image offering. So awesome.
Yes. Do you want to see an advanced feature? I want to see a Game Genie feature.
Oh yeah. What can you show us? You can't say that and not show us now.
Well, I'll give you the choice. I mean, maybe you've had enough already.
No, let's check it out. What's up?
Go to Marketplace, if you don't mind. And go to Image Offerings. So since we're talking about security and all these hardening things, this might be interesting. Choose your favorite image here.
Well, I mean, do you want to go find Keycloak here, Nick? Is that what where we want to
go? Yeah. Search for the key in the cloak.
All right. So we got our cloak now.
Yeah.
Is that a reference to something? Is that like a Dungeons and Dragons thing, or
I have no idea. I just know it's
a
Lord of the Rings thing. Keycloak.
A popular OSS identity management solution. I don't know.
The name sounded like it was something notable in pop culture. So choose one of the images there. Just click on one of the rows in the box. Cool, and then click on security metadata.
Oh.
Admittedly, this might be hidden more than it should in the UX. I need to maybe think about that. But what you have, what you have here is a bunch of extra goodies that come with every single image, and they're in the OCI registry. So you have to pull them from that OCI registry. You can use a command like ORAS, but it's easy to miss the value of some of these things, because what you have here are things like an SBOM, an entire bill of materials for everything that's in that container image. So if you have any compliance officers that need to know, hey, what are you shipping in the environment? You got the documentation, you got a hall pass right here. You just hand them the doc. You also have things like VEX statements. So these VEX statements are the vulnerability exchange format, and that provides the vendor's assessment of any CVs that are there. It's going to tell you how exploitable are they in this context. So in the context of Keycloak, maybe there's some low-level libc bug that's got a vulnerability, but we're never using that method in libc in Keycloak. So it's probably not. It's like it's in there, but a hacker can't actually exploit it, and that can be really valuable information. So you know, this high CVE actually it's not that exploitable. Maybe I don't need to like scramble to patch everything and ruin my weekend or something. There's also the source of this container if you want to see what's in the source. The salsa provenance, that's where we show everything we did in the supply chain, where we got all of our sources. You know how like in the, I don't know if you know, like in the aerospace industry, they know where the nuts and the bolts came from in every plane. They even know where the metal for the bolt came from and where it was mined, and they can trace it all back for supply chain integrity. We do the same thing. We track all the sources, where we got the libraries, where we built them from, what the Git commit was that we pulled from the Apache Foundation's official repository, and then we put that in the provenance chain, and then we sign it with a cryptographic signature so you know that it hasn't been tampered with. So kind of nerdy security stuff, but for people who care about this, it's this, you can't get this from Docker Hub images.
It's a big deal. Yeah.
Oh yeah. I feel safer already. I just saw this. But I mean, I guess joking aside, like this stuff matters a lot more than it did a few months ago. Like it mattered before, but now, like, again, it's almost like every day there's some other, oh, so and so is compromised. Hope your guys aren't using this package everywhere. Like, and it's widely used package XYZ type of thing seems to be almost the daily occurrence. So I think having this type of info, like the more and more things that we can get as people trying to secure these systems or help our customers be secure. I think it's the better, right? Because it's like from a human toll trying to keep up with this patching, basically nonstop. Like, and the more tools, the more things you can see, I think better. And I think we'll see, like, even throughout this show, throughout the year, I think security will continue to be a theme. Of course, all AI cool stuff too. But like, as we're in the application space, it's like you gotta, if you're gonna basically put it on the internet. I've even been in some conversations too, where like, well, do we need to patch these things? If they're gonna be on the internet, then it's potentially if some customers don't have some of these tools, it could be like, well, I don't know. Do we even need to run this anymore? Because we know it's vulnerable, but we don't have a way to remediate it. And like, who's using it, right? Like, then you start getting those conversations. So you definitely, don't want to be in that situation where you can't even be in a way to try to remediate it or see what's going on. So really appreciate this Landon here and Tanzu Platform. And I think, as you said before, this is probably just the beginning of this, or just scratching the surface. So excited to see what's to come in future content too. But
yeah, thanks so much for having me. It was really fun.
Yeah. Well, I guess with that, I know we're kind of pushing our time here. Do we have any other things that you want to cover, or any other kind of like closing thoughts for our audience of like what to check out or what to be on the lookout for, type of thing? In terms of
leave us wanting more. What's coming?
Oh, this is for me to
yes,
talk
that's for
about?
that's for you. That's for you, special guest. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Sorry.
No. Yeah, I'm not doing this banter thing well. Thank you for your patience.
Yeah.
No, this is really a privilege to be able to talk about this with you all. Thank you for the time. I really mean that, because there's a lot of opportunity to improve security, and we're really proud of what we work on and all the work we put into security. So it's really nice to be able to have share what we're doing and hope that it benefit and see how it can benefit people. That's what makes us really excited, is when we see it benefiting the end users and the community and our customers. This is just a beginning for what we're trying to do with open source ecosystem and making it more secure and integrated into the platform. So I hope to be able to share more in the future, and stay safe out there, everyone. Make good choices, use open source securely. Don't just download anything from the internet, and know that there are ways that you can, there are alternatives to those really easy solutions that are convenient, that are not that inconvenient, that give you so much more security. So just know there's options. That's what I'd leave with.
And I guess one more thing too, if you are a Tanzu Platform customer, you've got a really great option already out of the box for you that you don't have to worry. It's included already in your contract. So
that's actually
if they're a Broadcom customer, but not Tanzu, you still get a 90-day trial.
Yeah,
kick the tires.
That's a great
yeah,
point.
I think it's actually something that we don't really drive it home, I think, enough when we talk about it on CF Weekly and otherwise. Like, if you're an existing Tanzu Platform customer, you've got an active contract, like, you've got access to all of this stuff. You just need to go and upgrade your environment from hopefully you're now at least at 10.2, but go get to 10.4, because 10.4 has all of this goodness baked in, and you already have it. Like, you already have access to it, and so this is the best time to upgrade. I know I've had a lot of conversations recently. A lot of customers have just recently moved from TAS 6 to Tanzu Platform 10.2. They're just starting to kick the tires on Tanzu Hub, and it's like, hey, all of this is really good, but wait until you get to 10.4, because 10.4 has got all of the latest and greatest and all of these incredible features where we're bringing all of these new image offerings directly to you, the ability to manage all of those image offerings directly to you. And so man, it's an exciting time to be on the latest and greatest. And hey, that's the other one benefit to being on the latest and greatest, is not just all the goodies, but hey, also I have all the latest security updates when I'm running everything at the latest and greatest. I know that, I have a lot less to patch if I'm up to 10.4. And so, yeah, patch early, patch often.
Yeah, very much so. And you have more tooling to help you continue to keep you up to date, right, as well. So as this landscape changes, on a daily basis. So good times. All right. Well, this has been a great show. I learned more today. Every show I feel like I learned a little bit more because there's so much to Tanzu Platform to unpack. So we've got another 10.4 deep dive on the books. And if you have obviously more questions, so reach out to your Broadcom team and we can help you out. But that, and one more thing, and it's and I have another pop quiz for you here, William. Don't worry, everyone fails this test, so don't feel bad. Do you know how we close the show?
I don't. I'm gonna fail.
Okay. It's okay. No one makes it to the end, so it's it's fine. And this is kind of just a fun thing now. And if you would have answered correctly, I think you would have won a prize. I don't know. I may have sent you some stickers. I don't know. But we closed the show, our very first show. Someone like on our chat said like CF by, like signed off. So we do a countdown of 3, 2, 1. We wave. We say CF by as we kind of log out for the episode. So we'll do that.
It's synchronized in Unity.
Yeah. So
as much as we can.
I mean, it's always a bit of a chaos mess.
Do we have a consensus algorithm? Are we going to use like Zookeeper or Raft?
Oh man, you're getting extra points for this. This is great. But no, it's usually kind of awkward, and we sign off, and there's usually someone that says CF by after everybody else. But it's always fun editing the audio version of this for the podcast.
I'm sitting down. I'm ready.
Yeah. All right. 3, 2, 1. CF
by.
Bye. Thanks all.